Hey everyone, I'm Angela Williams. Ever wondered what it's like to own a mansion, only to be treated like a servant in it? That's my life. But trust me, things are about to get very interesting. Living in a sprawling Victorian mansion on Martha's Vineyard sounds like a dream, right? Except when you're secretly funding your family's lavish lifestyle and getting treated like yesterday's trash in return. At 27, I'm a successful real estate agent by day and an invisible daughter by night. Angela, didn't I tell you to use the service entrance? We have guests coming. My mother, Eleanor, snaps from the grand staircase. This is her new favorite refrain since marrying Richard 3 years ago. The same mother who used to cuddle me during thunderstorms, now acting like I'm unworthy of stepping into her precious foyer. But Mom, I bite my tongue. She doesn't know. None of them do. My grandfather left me everything: the mansion, the properties, the fortune, all in secret. He knew how money changes people, and looking at her now, he wasn't wrong. Darling, is Marcus joining us for dinner tonight? Richard's smooth voice slithers into the room as he adjusts his Rolex, probably bought with my money. He's been asking about you, he adds, flashing a smile that makes my skin crawl. I'm not interested in your business partner, Richard. Watch your tone, young lady, my mother snaps. Behind her, my stepsister Madison smirks from behind her phone. OMG, Angela, she snickers. Not everyone can marry to money like Mom. Some of us have to settle. Her fake sympathy makes me want to scream, if she only knew. Later in the kitchen, Sarah, our housekeeper, who feels more like family than anyone else here, slips me a coffee. Your grandfather would be proud of how you're handling this, honey. But are you sure you want to keep paying for their lifestyle? Just a little longer, Sarah. Everything's about to change. My phone buzzes. It's James, my best friend since third grade. Angela, you won't believe what I found about Richard's business dealings. Tell me over lunch tomorrow. Usual spot. Sure, but your family won't approve of you meeting me at a diner, he jokes. Good thing I stopped caring about their approval around the same time Mom started caring more about Richard's social calendar than me, I reply. Madison saunters into the kitchen, still glued to her phone. Still hanging out with that nobody James. You know, Marcus asked about your schedule. Maybe I'll tell him you're free Friday. Back off, Madison. I mean it. Or what? You'll tattle to Mommy, please. She barely remembers you exist as Daddy came along. I grip the counter, feeling the weight of the property deeds hidden upstairs. Soon, they'll all know exactly who they've been stepping on. But for now, I plaster on a fake smile and retreat to my room. As I pass the family portrait in the hall, I notice the arrangement: Mom standing tall with Richard and Madison, while I'm shoved into the corner like an afterthought. My phone lights up with another text from James, ready to show them who really owns their precious lifestyle. Not yet, I reply, but soon, very soon. Little do they know their perfect world is on the brink of collapse, and I'll be watching from the top floor of the mansion when it does. Later, the sound of the slap echoed through the kitchen, my cheek stinging from Mom's diamond-clad hand. How dare you bring that nobody into my house? She hissed. James stood frozen in the doorway, breakfast forgotten. It's 7 a.m., Eleanor, he said calmly. Angela lives here too. Not for long if she keeps disrespecting this family's standards, she spat, grabbing my arm, her manicured nails digging into my skin. Marcus has been asking about you, Angela, and instead of pursuing a respectable relationship, you're entertaining this. This what, Mom? A friend who actually cares about me? Her glare burned through me as she stormed out. That evening, Madison's poison spread through our social circle like wildfire. While I reviewed property documents in my room, Richard barged in unannounced. We need to discuss your future, he declared. What future? I asked, keeping my tone neutral. Marcus is prepared to offer you a position in the merged company. After the wedding. What wedding? Don't play coy. It's time you contributed to this family. The merger with Marcus's firm could save our financial situation. Financial situation? That caught my attention. As Richard rambled about arrangements, I spotted a bank statement peeking from his pocket. When he left, I texted James, "Need your hacking skills. Something's wrong with Mom's trust fund." James called back immediately. Angela, you need to see this. Richard's been draining Eleanor's accounts, offshore holdings, fake companies. She's about to lose everything. Everything she thinks she has. I whispered, touching my bruised cheek. Help me nail him, James. But before we could act, Mom burst into my room, fury etched on her face. "You've been snooping into our finances?" she shrieked, ripping through my closet like a woman possessed. "Ungrateful little witch. After everything we've done for you. Everything you've done. Like replacing my father with a calm man. Like letting Madison spread lies about me. Your father was weak," he snapped. "Richard gives us class, status, everything you're too pathetic to appreciate." She grabbed my laptop, her grip unrelenting, and raised it as if to smash it against the wall. "Mom, stop," I cried, panic lacing my voice. "Why?" "So you can keep conspiring with James, planning to ruin my marriage." She swung the laptop toward the wall, but Sarah rushed in just in time, catching it midair. "Mrs. Williams, the guests are arriving for dinner," Sarah said firmly, her tone calm but commanding. Mom froze, her expression shifting instantly to her perfect society smile. "We'll finish this discussion later," she said, smoothing her hair as if nothing had happened. She strode downstairs, ready to play the perfect hostess, leaving me amidst the wreckage of my shredded clothes. I sank to the floor, hands trembling, and texted James, "Get everything you have on Richard. It's time." Sarah knelt beside me, her voice a soft whisper. "Your grandfather's study. There's something in the safe you need to see." I nodded, standing on shaky legs. In the mirror, Mom's handprint was still visible on my cheek, a cruel reminder of the price I pay for speaking the truth. Sometimes the deepest wounds come from the people who should love us most. But tonight, that changes. Tonight, I stop being the victim in my own home. At midnight, the door to my room crashed open. Mom stood in the doorway, trembling, clutching my grandfather's property papers in her manicured hands. "What is this?" she demanded, her voice cracking. "What is this?" "Careful with those, Mother," I said coolly. "They're worth more than your entire wardrobe." Richard appeared behind her, his face red with fury. "You little liar, all this time, all this time." "What, Richard?" I snapped. "While you were draining Mom's trust fund? While you were pushing me to marry Marcus to save your pathetic business?" Madison stormed in, phone in hand, ready to record the drama. "Daddy, what's happening?" "What's happening?" I said, my voice steady, "is that your precious daddy married Mom thinking she was the heir to my grandfather's fortune. But surprise, I own everything. The mansion, the properties, the money. All of it." "That's impossible." Mom's voice broke. "Dad would never." "Never what?" "Protect his assets from a daughter who abandoned her child for status. He watched you change, Mom. Watched you choose Richard and Madison over me. So he made sure his fortune went to someone who actually cared about family, not social climbing." Richard lunged toward me, but a firm hand caught his shoulder. Marcus stepped into the room, James right behind him. "I wouldn't do that, Richard," Marcus said coldly. "The FBI tends to frown on assaulting people while under investigation for fraud." Madison's phone clattered to the floor. "What investigation?" she whispered. James pulled out his laptop, his expression deadly calm. "Show them, Marcus." "With pleasure," Marcus replied. "You see, Richard, while you were busy trying to force a merger through Angela, you didn't realize I was working with a forensic accounting team. We have everything, the embezzlement, the offshore accounts, even Madison's little sabotage campaign against Angela's real estate firm." Richard's face turned purple with rage. You were working with them," he spat, pointing at me. "No, Richard," I said with icy clarity. "They were working for me. This is my house. Remember?" Mom collapsed into a chair, tears streaming down her face. "Angela, baby, I'm so sorry. I remember when you were little how we used to bake cookies in the kitchen. Remember? We can fix this. Start over. Like you tried to fix my face this morning, or my reputation last week. Save your Oscar performance, Mom. I've watched you choose them over me for 3 years. But I'm your mother," she cried. "No," I said, my voice unwavering. "A mother protects her child. A mother loves unconditionally. You're just another social climber who got played at her own game." Richard made a dash for the door, but security guards were waiting. Marcus nodded to the officers. "Mr. Thompson, you're under arrest for financial fraud and embezzlement," one of them said. As they led Richard away, Madison screamed, "This is all your fault. I'll tell everyone what you did." "Go ahead," I said calmly. "Tell them how you sabotaged your stepsister while living in her house, spending her money. I'm sure the country club will love that story." Mom reached for my hand one last time, her voice trembling. Please, Angela, I can change. We can be a family again. I looked down at her tear-streaked face, remembering every slap, every insult, every betrayal. You're right, Mom, I said softly. Things are going to change, starting with your living arrangements. Get out of my house. All of you. James put his arm around my shoulders as they left, Madison's sobs echoing down the hallway. You okay? I touched the property papers, my grandfather's final gift of protection. I am now. I finally am. The morning my family moved out was eerily quiet, the sound of expensive luggage scraping across marble floors the only echo in the mansion. Richard faced years in prison, not just for defrauding me, but for a string of other scams Marcus had spent years uncovering. Your father's files just came in from the FBI, James said, dropping a thick folder on my desk. Marcus built this case for years. He just needed the right moment. Sarah, now the hotel manager, brought in coffee, her crisp uniform a badge of her fresh start. Madison's once envied social circle had collapsed entirely. People don't take kindly to discovering their friend lived off her stepsister's generosity while spreading lies about her. A headline on my tablet caught my eye. Former socialite Eleanor William now serving at local diner. The same diner where she had thrown wine at a server last Christmas. Karma has impeccable timing. The mansion's transformation into the William Heritage Hotel was my first real victory. The kitchen where Mom had slapped me now housed a 5-star restaurant. Each renovation felt like reclaiming another piece of myself. Mom tried one last time, showing up in her waitress uniform. Please, Angela, we can start over, she begged, tears streaking her face. No, Mom, you're not sorry, you're desperate. I handed her a debt repayment schedule. You'll pay back every penny Richard stole. That's the only relationship we'll ever have now, strictly business. As security escorted her out, a weight I hadn't realized I was carrying lifted. The hotel exceeded all expectations. Sarah managed it with brilliance, and James handled the financial side with his usual expertise. My personal victory, though, came 3 months later. Ready to see your new house? James asked, dangling a set of keys. The modern beachfront property stood gleaming in the sunset, its floor-to-ceiling windows reflecting the golden light. Private beach access, open spaces, most importantly, no memories of abuse within its walls. The previous owner was asking $2 million, James mentioned as we walked through the airy living room. Worth every penny, I said, stepping onto the balcony and breathing in the ocean air. To never see Mom's crocodile tears or Madison's smug sneer again. Sarah joined us later, a bottle of champagne in hand. We toasted in the bright, welcoming kitchen, raising our glasses. To karma, she said. To fresh starts, I added, watching the waves crash against the shore. My phone buzzed on the counter, a missed call from Mom. I didn't bother checking it. Some people don't deserve second chances. The next morning, the paper featured 2 stories. The soaring success of the William Heritage Hotel and Richard's extended sentence for additional fraud. I read both from my beach chair, the sound of waves lapping against the shore, finally at peace in a home that was truly mine. No toxic family, no manipulation. Just me and a life I built from the ashes they tried to bury me in.